Hello, Mario! In this video we're going to take a little bit of a look at putting images under the plan and scaling. From time to time we need to scale things from plans, so one way of doing that is to print out a hard copy of the plan and then use a scale ruler, but there are other ways of doing it, and that's what I'm going to show you now. So essentially what I'm going to do is to take a copy of our plan here, a JPG copy, make a JPG copy, and then put it underneath our fully drawn plan, which will enable us to scale things off just using measuring tools and drawing lines and stuff like that. So you'll get the idea what's happening. So the first thing we need to do is, this is our plan that we're going to, obviously this is our little plan here that we're going to use. So you can see that this is part of a 3-page PDF, but we don't want the other pages, so I just want to go to page 1, that's what I want. So what I'm going to do is just go over here to comment and tools actually, and then you'll see here there's an extract, and I just want to extract page 1. Okay, and I'm going to extract it there, and there it is. It's made it into just a PDF, a one-off PDF. Now I'm probably gonna, I don't want a lot of that stuff there really, so I just want a little bit there, so I'm just going to go tools here and crop it a bit. So I'll just probably maybe I'll keep some of this stuff here, which might be helpful, might be useful. So I'm just going to go sort of well, let's just keep it, just to give you the idea, let's keep it fairly simple here. I'm just going to crop it down to something like that there, and then this here can come in like that. Oh, that didn't work quite so well. I'll just have another crack at that. So roughly something like that. Okay, so I'm just going to crop it down to that. So like so, yeah, it's all pretty good. Right, so that's sort of what we want, basically the image. So some of these things like the bed and that we're going to measure up. Now what I'm going to do is save that, save as, and what I'm going to do is save it as a JPEG file. You can possibly import PDFs, but I just find using JPEGs a bit easier. Alright, and then we've got to save that somewhere. So possibly CAD sessions here, cost effective CRIBS, I'll call that yeah, cost, so I'll take out the pages, but you might see it previously, one that I've done there, cost effective CRIBS plan annotated to JPEG, and save. Okay, so that's that little file there. We can just pop that out of the way. And let's go up here like this. Now, when we bring the image in, I might just go to model space for that. Remember, you can always go to model space. So here we are working in model space. So what I like to do is to bring the image into a layer just on its own, so I can turn it on and off. So I'm just going to go to layer properties, and I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to call that layer CEC scheme plan, for want of a better word. So it's the sort of briefing plan they've got it, CEC scheme plan. Okay, and then I'm going to double click that, and that will make that the current layer. So when I bring the when I bring the image in, that's the layer that it'll go into. So here we go here, so insert and attach is what we want here. So when we attach it, it's always going to be looking for it in the particular file. But this sort of plan here is one that we're only really using during the construction stage of the, we're only using it when we're drawing, so it's not actually going to be part of the file. One of the annoying parts about this Adobe's thing is that sometimes, quite often, it goes to the last plan that you're at, so you have to do quite a lot of substantial navigating to get to where the file was, which is what I'm doing now, even though I can maybe just help things along a bit by just looking for JPEGs, but it not going to give me that as an option at this stage. Okay, so I've got to go to here. I'll make this bigger, cost of view, and I want it. I'll just go here and group by type. So they're all PDFs. Where's the JPEGs? PDF, and it's not going to. Not going to be cooperative here. Yeah, it's that's a JPEG there. There it is. There it is. There, JPEG there. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so yeah, because of the way I've got things set up. So yeah, it's going to go there, specify on screen where we want it. We'll just keep the scale at 1 for now, and the rotation like that at 90, and we'll go OK. Now you'll see here that it's coming in. You can see it's coming in as a very small plan. Okay, so obviously we want it a bit bigger than that, but you'll see over here the scale, so we can make it 10 times bigger. Oops, Control Z. Let's make this here. So we can go to the scale there and make that 10. And that makes our plan 10 times bigger. It's still not quite as big as we want it. We might want to go 20 times bigger, perhaps. 20. Nope. I think it might be 50. Okay. Oh yes, because we're going at 1 to 50. Okay, so let's just go move. And I'm just going to approximately, remember that we've adjusted this around a bit. So they've got 100mm walls and we've got 90, so there's going to be some slight differences here. F8, let's turn that off, so I'm going to probably just try and put that there. Now you can see, of course, that that's obliterated the thing. So one of the things we do here is go to draw order and send to the back. It's still not going quite so well. Is it? Draw order, send to the back. Not liking that. It's annoying. Let me see. If I let's go to the home page here for now, and I'll turn the scheme plan off. Turn that off. Turn. Yep, like that. And draw order, bring to the front, and then we'll try and turn it back on again. Okay, but it's not. Not going so well. I'll try back in here. What's going on in here? Bit annoying. Draw order. Send to the back. That's, we can see that there. That's all good. Okay. It might be helpful just to, anyway, so we can see that we've got that point there, approximately there like that. Our scale is not quite right, so we need to scale this image up a bit. So we can use the scale thing here, and we go like that. Okay, we can go SC for scale, select the object like that, right click, and then we can specify the base point, which is that point there, which I'll set, and then we can go R for reference, and we can go, so this is the point there. Now we're working off the image here, so I want to go from there, so the reference line is from there to there, and then I want that line to match up with this corner here. Okay, and if we just go RE and have a bit of a look in there, you can see that the corner's not that far off, but we've got a bit of a rotation going on there, so we just need to rotate it a little bit. So just make sure we've got the image, and I'm just going to go rotate. It's pretty much the same issue there. So this is my base point here, they're all lined up, rotate, and again I go R for reference, go in there, click that point there. Now I've got the snaps turned on, so you've got to make sure that you sort of turn off the, I'm just going to turn the snaps off, just going to push F3, and the object snap is off, so that I know that I'm actually selecting the point on the image, which is there. Okay, and then I want to rotate that round to the point, so I'm going to turn the object snap back on, I'm going to rotate it round to that point there. And so that's sort of got the plan lined up. If we just go to the properties, we can see that the scale is 69.2136. It's got a little rotation on it, and if we just zoom in close, you know, things are lining up reasonable enough, but this will enable us to give us a bit of an idea on things like, for instance, the bed, what size to make the bed. So if we go measure distance, we can turn the object snaps off, which is F3, or the little button down the bottom. So oh no, F3. Okay, so still not turning it. These are my object snaps, toggle them off. So I can go from there to sort of there for my bed, and I can see that that's an 872. So I would make the bed say 900. And I can measure again, measure distance, and so I can go from there. So my single bed is 900 by 1850, so I might make it 900 by 19, or even 2 meters, it doesn't matter. So there's some little things that we can scale off here, like for instance this shower. Again, just use the measure tool, and you can see that like there, and we can see that that's an 890, so there's around about a 900 shower. We can use a bit of common sense, of course, and go to the go to the manufacturers and see what sizes they are, but generally I've put that little image under there, and that's you can see that how that all works. You can sort of have a look at these chairs and see what sort of dimensions they're showing up on these plans. There's some little points of difference, but generally we're probably about right. So that's all good. And what we can do now is we can go up here and we can just turn, we can turn the layer off, or we can just turn it off. We're in model, make sure we're in model when you're doing the measurements and the things in model. So we can just turn it off in this viewport by just clicking on there. And there's our plan gone. And we can, if we wish, we can turn it on again, just here, and do a little bit of scaling and see how things fit together. So that's quite useful. You can put aerial photographs from Walking Access New Zealand. You can put quite a number of things under your diagram and have them in layers that you can turn on and off. It's quite helpful for when you're drawing. And just one other thing just to pick up from the last video. I was trying to get everything, I created a door layer. Just by way of that, I'm just going to put the active layer back to wall lines. I created a layer called doors, and I wasn't too sure as to whether I'd got all of the doors in that layer, and I needed to check that. And so one way of doing that is just to turn the door layer off. So I can just turn it off there, and you can see all the doors disappear. So they must all be in the door layer, which is good. So this turns the layer off. That turns it off in every viewport and anywhere in the plan. This one here just turns the layer off in this viewport. So if you have other viewports, the layer can be on. So the trash is turned off in every thing. It's just turned off totally. But they're only in this viewport, and that becomes quite helpful later on for turning layers on and off, as you'll find out. You can also have layers of a different colour in different viewports. So it could be, say for instance, red in this viewport and grey or green in another. So there you go. Cheers!